Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to have a quick look at the latest Inkon3 release. So we have 3 mini stamp sets, and this one is called Donut You Know. And then we have You, Me and Coffee, or You, Me, Coffee actually. And the latest, so here you have the super cute little mouse, and he's in a coffee cup, and you get a big one and a small one. And then we have Sweetest. And these are 3 by 4 inches, so 3 inches by 4 inches stamp sets. And I'm going to be using some of these stencils that are previously released from Inkon3 as well to make some fun and colorful backgrounds. So hopefully you can see what the names are, but I will also link them down below in the description box. So I have cut out square cards. So these are just over 4 inches long, and then I'm also going to be using Atelier ink. So we have My Jam Purple, Sweet Petunia Pink, Marigold Orange, Bee Sting Yellow, yes, look at those, Goddess Green, and Peacock Blue. So these are super blendable inks. I really enjoy them, and they're so vivid as well. So we are going to make some really nice and colorful backgrounds. And then I've also got the 2 re-inkers, so Pitch Black and Shark Tooth White. And also some shimmer on steroids, Pixie Dust. So this, I got this stuff out, and then I was thinking, you know, I'm gonna probably splatter some of the backgrounds with the black and some with the white and this and that. So I got all of this stuff out, and I wasn't, you know, kind of having a super duper plan on what to do. I just wanted to have a little bit of fun. So when I just want to, you know, play and kind of like create and let my mind go and just kind of see what things happens or see where things go, I do tend to ink blend, because it's just magic. It's pure magic. But because these stencils are so tiny, actually, sorry, the stencils are not tiny, the cards are tiny. I have cut out some of this really wide post-it tape, and then I'm gonna cut it in half, and I'm gonna use it to attach the cardstock to the back of the stencil. So this is the back of the whole thing, and then we're gonna turn this whole shebang over, and we're going to ink blend through that. So I kind of got on a roll here, and I was like, oh yeah, let's start with let's just do one at a time. But then I thought, I just done that with the Bee Sting Yellow, and I was like, I have a lot of ink left on my brush, so maybe we should just see if we can, you know, make the most of things and use what we got on our brushes. So I got the Wonky Lines stencil out as well, and because this one is a little bit finer detail, I decided to use 2 big strips of the same post-it tape. And then here I thought, you know what, I'm just going to try to kind of get a really, really soft, super soft pastel look. So I ended up kind of mostly rubbing my brush up and down just to get a little bit of a soft look. And then you can see I'm dabbing on my ink, on the lid of my ink pad rather than the actual ink pad itself. And the reason I do this is because I tend to tap off the excess on the lid, so that when I do want a really, really soft look, I can go to the lid. Unfortunately, my Marigold Orange is quite dry. It's gonna need to be re-inked. So that's why I did go to the ink pad on that. But you can see here on this Sweet Petunia Pink, I just went straight from one stencil to the other, and I got that really, really soft look, whereas the one with the flourishes is much, much brighter. And the same here with the green, the Goddess Green, went in with a nice sort of opaque or more saturated ink on the squiddly one, and then on the lines I'm just wiping off basically the excess of the ink on the brush. So I didn't actually end up using the My Jam Purple on the lines stencil. I just used it on this one, and this came out super cool. But we're gonna have a little sneaky peek, and then we're actually gonna leave the stencil on top, because I had this idea of just kind of getting splatter on the pattern, but I did decide to skip on that idea. But here is the pastel scribbles, and I really like that. It's just so, it turned out so good. So we are also going to be using this coffee flower stencil, and we're going to be using the big pieces again to hold the cardstock to our stencil, and then we're going to go to town with the blending. So this ink pad is also a little bit dry. I do really need to re-ink all of my ink pads here because I do ink blend so much, so they're really quite dry at this point, or most of them anyway. So we are going to just add color through this to kind of get the pattern, but we're not going to go like super duper intense because you know the background is not going to be the star of the show. We are going to have our little images. That's the star of the show. But we have our backgrounds ready-ish with the ink blending anyway, so now it's time to add a little bit of fun details. So this is where the re-inker comes in. So this is the shark tooth white. So I'm squeezing out a little bit. And then we're going to drip a little bit of a liquid pixie dust into this to make a sparkly, shimmery white watercolor. And we're going to splatter that all over the one in the middle, the background in the middle. And I did this off camera because it does make a giant mess. So here it is. And it's still wet, so we're going to leave this to dry. And we are going to try something different with this squiggly or scribbly lines stencil piece. So I decided here to, this is like a finger saver and also a background saver. So it's just a thin piece of acetate with a little bit of post-it tape on it so that I don't put my fingerprints or messy hands on top of my backgrounds. So here I am just dipping a very thin watercolor brush into my handmade or homemade white, silvery, gold watercolor. And then I'm drawing lines along the bottom of all of these ink blended lines just to sort of see what it ended up looking like. And in all honesty, it's not actually that visible, and I think it would maybe look prettier with a white gel pen if you can get, you know, your lines nice and opaque. But we're gonna clean this up and then we're going to get to our coloring. So I have stamped up all of the, well, not all of the images because there's like little hearts and balloons and things like that, but I stamped up the major or the majority of the big images, and then I've gotten a load of Copics out. And then I ended up getting more and more out as I was coloring because I was like, oh, maybe this one and this color and that color, and I need more markers because clearly having all of these markers out was not enough. No. So I am actually not going to show all of the coloring here. I'm just going to show this cup and then also the piece of cake next to it. So here we're just going to add some shading to the cup to kind of give it that 3D look. So how I do it is just you add a little bit of dark color around your edges, and then you're using lighter and lighter colors as you're going in towards the middle where basically your light is going to hit. And then I did feel like my colors had blended out a little bit too much here, so I did go in with my my markers again to just kind of add a little bit more of depth and definition. And then we're gonna add a bit of color to the coffee that the mouse is soaking in, and then obviously we're gonna color the little mouse himself as well. So, ooh, if you hear a little Chica shouting in the background, it's probably because it's dinner time here and they haven't been fed yet. So we are going to color the little mouse with warm grays, and the cup has been colored in cool grays. So there's a lot of grays and neutrals for this image itself, but I do kind of feel like it's, you know, it works because obviously the mouse is a mouse, although I suppose I could have made a really colorful cup. But I thought, you know what, a lot of my backgrounds are really colorful, so maybe like not go super crazy with the colors. Like sometimes it's good to kind of step away a little bit and just not do everything the same. Yes, I know I just made rainbow, so I don't know why I'm saying that to myself. But anyway, we're gonna color this little piece of cake as well with the mouse on top. And I've colored it kind of like a chocolate cake with strawberry or raspberry filling, and then like a lemon or vanilla icing, and a little bit of, I kind of looked at that as a meringue, but maybe it's cream. But you know, oh my goodness, this is making me want cake so bad now. Yeah, I might have to have cake for dinner. Not that I actually have cake. I don't have any cake at home. Oh, what a life, hey? But anyway, we're going to get on with the rest of the coloring here, and then I did color the rest of these images, every single one of them, off camera. And once I've finished with the teeny tiny little details here, we are going to have a little look at how they turned out. And I must admit that I really had a fun time coloring these, and some of them came out a little bit better than others, but you know, that's the thing, you know, you practice once, and then you can always color it again, and that's one of the good things about coloring the same image several times. So you do get a little bit of practice, and you see like where you went wrong or what worked, and then you can hopefully take that into the next coloring, so you will always, even if something doesn't work out, you will always learn something from your coloring sessions. So this is all of them, and then because as far as I know, there aren't any coordinating die cuts for this, although I do really hope that that is coming, because I ended up fussy cutting these out, and I am so bad at fussy cutting. Oh, I am just not good. No, I don't know what it is, whether it's just if I don't have the patience or the right tools, but no, fussy cutting is not for me. But I because I decided to color the images like this rather than stamping and masking and then ink blending over, which probably would have been easier, I'm kind of guessing, maybe. This is what we ended up with. So I did have to go in with like a scalpel and kind of do some of the little finer details. And on some of these, I decided to actually leave a little bit of a border, which made a massive difference to the level of difficulty. So the first ones I did, I actually cut right around the stamped image, and that was very tricky. So especially with like the little tails on the mice, some of them are very wonky now on these images. So you can see that I had to use a black marker to kind of tidy up the images a little bit as well. And I did miss a little spot here. Yes. And it did help to kind of make it or clean up my fussy cutting a little bit as well. So this is something that you can do when if you feel like your fussy cutting isn't like really great, if it's terrible like mine, this is something that can just kind of save your image a little bit. But you can see these two next to each other. I do actually prefer the one with the white outline, which normally I feel like I didn't. I would like to have die cuts that cut out all of the white around, but now I'm like, you know what? It's funny I say that. And then when I fussy cut, I like the white outline. Go figure, right? Ay, life, isn't it? A roller coaster at all different points in your journey. But here we are just gonna finish the kind of like add the finishing touches to some of these images, because although I have been over some of them, I haven't done all of them. So here we're just gonna, you can see it's really quite quick and easy work actually. So just here I have used a Tombow marker, a black marker, which is water reactive rather than alcohol reactive ink, just in case I kind of managed to get right in there. I don't want to use a alcohol based marker so that it messes with my coloring. So here, as you can see, this is sped up to like ×2. And you can see it's like I'm almost done, so it doesn't take that long, but it really does kind of make a massive difference. Now this is not something that I would do if I used a die cut, obviously, but when you fussy cut, it really does make such a difference. So at the top of the little tail here, I did get a little bit too much black on there, so I ended up having to try to kind of blend it out a little bit with a couple of lighter Copics. So I didn't end up almost like recoloring the entire tail, but again, small price to pay because I think it came out pretty cute. So here are all of the images all cut out, and here are some of the backgrounds. I did actually make an extra two because I had so much fun with that squiggly line one. So these are the extra two. So I made one like quite opaque with lots of colors, and then a really, really pale pastel-y one. And we are going to put those aside for now, and then we're going to focus on these little square ones. So this, I think this actually ended up being my favorite background, the lines one, which is funny because usually I'm all about the super colorful backgrounds. I can't talk today. So on the coffee one, I actually did splatter a little bit of gold on that as well, just to kind of, you know, I call coffee liquid gold, so I'm like, you know, I feel like that worked. And then here I was like, oh, what do I do? Do I just use one of these images, or do I use two? So I ended up using the big pink donut one, and then I very, very nearly added the little pink donut as well. But then I thought, maybe that's just too samey. And it didn't look quite right. And this is a great way of just kind of messing around and seeing what you like. Like, do you like this or do you not like this? Because you don't have to commit to the first layout that you do. So there's always worth taking a little bit of time to kind of play around, try out a few things. And if you're unsure about which one you like best, take photos on your cell phone, and then of all the different options that you come up with, and then you look through them and you see which one do I like best, and then you go for that, and then you have like picture evidence of what you want it to look like, and then you just add them to the card and glue it down, and bam, you're done. So it takes out a lot of the kind of angst that we sometimes feel as crafters, like, oh, is this where it's gonna be? Is this the right spot for this particular image or this sentiment or this piece of embellishment? For some reason there's a lot of angst that goes into this, but there's a lot of joy, but there's also a lot of angst. So when I was happy with my images here, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna I've looked at these, and I've tried a few things back and forth, and can you see there that I did swap the little pink donut mouse for the one with kind of like a maple, I want to say maple glaze. Yeah. So here are the little cards all glued down and ready to go. So these just need card bases, and then they're done. And then I thought, you know what? Now that those are done, we can focus on these two backgrounds as well, because I love how they turn out, so might as well. And on this one, I've added a little bit of subtle texture using a cover plate from LDRS Creative. It's called Quilted Plaid. It's beautiful as just fun texture. It's very subtle, very elegant. I'm in love. There's also a brand new other item called Delicate Stitches Scalloped Ovals, and these are coming in the spring release. And it comes in, you get 4 different pieces in these. So I cut out a bunch of them in both white and gold cardstock. So I started playing again, as you do, and I thought, you know what, I can use some of these or all of them or whatever. And I found a happy birthday die cut from this is from Pinkfresh Studio, and then I stamped up another sentiment from another Inkon3 stamp set. So this one is from the Peachy stamp set, and it just says happy birthday. And here I again had kind of like is it going to be a cake? Is it going to be a cup of coffee? But it kind of felt like, cake and happy birthday, it was the way to go. So I decided to go for the cake instead. But, you know, best to check, right? Best to check. So we are going to start gluing these pieces down as well. And if, like me, you're notorious for getting your stuff on wonky or it doesn't go on straight, you're going to want to grab yourself a grid mat and maybe a ruler if you're really, really kind of committed to getting things on straight. And also liquid glue when you're adding things to your card, because it gives you that little bit of extra wiggle room to move things if it doesn't go on super straight. So I have glued down the sentiment strip and the circle, the scallop circle, and also the I haven't actually moved glued down the cake because I wasn't sure whether I was going to pop it up with some foam or whether it's going to go on flat. A lot of these cards are actually flat. I'm all about the foam and the dimensions and the layers and stuff, but these are surprisingly flat. So that's curveball, I guess. So here we are just going to be adding the sentiment of for this card, and then I moved on or moved back to the bright birthday card. So I'm going to call this one the pastel birthday card, and then the other one is going to be the bright birthday card. But I just thought that this was such a great way of using both some brand new products from another company, also female-owned company, and also using up some die cuts that I already had cut out, rather than just kind of stamping up or die cutting out something new. I decided to just use something that I had in my stash. And while I pondered all of that, I also decided I'm going to pop up this piece of cake with a bit of foam tape. So I've added, this is actually foam sheet, so I'll cut it out reasonably to size to make sure that it's really solid, because I don't like it when it's like sagging on my cards. So those are the cards done like that. But then I decided to add a little bit of embellishment, as you do. So on this one, I have actually used a little bit of gold watercolor to just add in little details. So I have a really, really fine detail watercolor brush, and I just added in a little bit of gold on the swirls, just to kind of, I don't know, just take it up a notch, I guess you could say. So it's not a huge thing and you won't really see it unless you look. But yeah, on this one I did add a little bit of the liquid pixie dust to the I guess it's cream or meringue. I haven't quite decided. And then I added some of these little heart shaped sprinkles from Doodlebug. I really love these tiny, tiny ones. They just look so, so cute. And then on the next card, yeah, I did my usual. I have gone like crazy with the Glacier Gems from Pinkfresh Studios. So because the colors is all kind of very pale and pastel-y, I decided to go for a light color. And on this one, I have used the glitter drops from Pinkfresh Studio. These are the ones gold. These are gold. And then I used a couple of little hearts as well from the same Doodlebug sprinkles. So it's just super, super cute. And it's not like so overly in your face. I don't think anyway. Like this one. Here I done my super usual and gone cray cray with the bling bling. Yes. But I thought, you know what? It's a birthday card. Why not? So I've along the lines I've just kind of added 3 different sizes, except for the yellow, because there weren't really enough space to do all 3 sizes. But I just wanted to have a lot of color on those. So here we're just gonna have a couple of little close-ups on the square cards. But with that, I'm all done. So I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and consider subscribing if you haven't already subscribed. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and leave me a sweet comment, because these are all sweet based cards. And I will see you soon again. Bye!